desk's a bit of a state. I apologise. Apologies. Apollo geese. Astronaut geese on the Apollo mission. Sad to say, the rocket blew up and they all died. It's alright, they're only geese. Who gives a fuck? Fuck them. Fuck geese. No, I like geese. I don't care to fuck them. Which is something. I've been having a bit of a spring clean. It's fucking October. What are you having a spring clean for? It's a bit late. More of an autumn/winter clean. We have fun here. We do. I had this shelf just like here, just above my desk, and it's just fucking rammed with just stuff from years and years and goddamn years ago. Of just when I don't have anywhere else to put something, I just shove it in there and go, that'd do. And it got to a point where there was just no more space in there, so I've been tidying that up. So there was a bunch of shit over my desk. I just about managed to clear a space for me to do some shit. I also found these again, uncovering shit from years ago. I got these years and years ago when I was doing more sort of like video type content, like talk to the camera type video type content. I got these because I was going to do a funny little like my take on like a Bob Ross video. I was going to paint these little canvases and then talk to the camera like Bob Ross does, but I was going to say cunt a lot. I was going to say, oh, let's paint this cunt, let's get some fucking blue in there like a bitch, put it in there like a bitch, paint your shit like a bitch, you bitch. Art for gangsters, that's what it is. Gangstart, that's not a word. Today's beverage is a nice little hot chocolate. Can't go wrong with a nice little hot chocolate. Hopefully I'll finish that before it gets cold. We'll see. I also found this. It's a promotional Mew card. I bought this specifically. I ordered it online. Back when free card. Thank you very much for your order. Please visit my page if you are after any other cards, and please leave feedback if possible. I got a free mat choke. Oh shit, son. Is that rare? No, it's uncommon, but it's not rare. I didn't want a mat choke, but I got one. That's free. I guess cool. I guess. I got this years and years ago because, as you might recall, do I have? Oh, I do. Fuck yeah. Fucking cool. I did so many years ago now. I don't even remember. I did these. I painted on the Pokemon cards. How close is it in size? A little bit bigger than actual size. Oh, excuse me. I really like the Tangela one, and the Wooper is pretty cool. Pikachu's, The thing is, with him, I painted his cheeks like blue/white to make it like electrifyingly. But as soon as you remove the red of his cheeks, you really remove something of the character of Pikachu. Which in an animation is sort of fine because it flashes as he does his electric stuff and then it goes away. But in a still image, if you remove the red, it really loses something of his Pikachu-ness. Or his penis, as I like to call it. The Oddish was a bit weird looking. It looks like he's got a beak almost, but quite cool. And then shortly after that, I did this one because that was a commission. Someone said, can you do a Jigglypuff for my boyf? So I did, and I uplit it so it looks a bit spooky. I did a chrome ratata because I was practicing the chrome style of painting. That was kind of cool. A bit of an odd one, a bit off the wall, innit? A chrome ratata, somewhat reminiscent, I guess, of like in Super Smash Brothers where they have the metal versions of the characters. I know they have Mario. Do they have other characters? I don't know. That's my paint book from 2018. I mean. Yeah, 2018. God, 5 years old now. Jesus. And then I bought this because somebody asked me, a very dear friend actually, asked me to do a Mew card, to paint a Mew on a Mew and give it to them for free. And I said, fuck you, you piece of shit. I want to work for free, you cunt, fuck a piece of garbage. I'll fucking kick your teeth in, bitch. Fuck you. But then I was like, secretly, I'll do it, and then they'll be really surprised when I've suddenly done it for them. I bought a card, and then it got stuffed in amongst all the shit on the shelf, and I had ostensibly lost. What the fuck does ostensibly mean? It's the word of the day. Do-do-do. I can even spell it correctly. That's cool. As appears or is stated to be true. Yeah, that works. Though not necessarily so. Ooh. Yeah, that was literally. I used that word perfectly. So it was ostensibly lost. It appeared or is stated to be lost, though not necessarily so. Apparently. It was apparently lost to time and space and the ether. I thought it was gone forever. And literally this morning of recording, I dug it out. It was a dusty shit envelope and it had Mew written on it in bad ballpoint handwriting. And I was like, the fuck is this? I open it up and there's a fucking Mew card. And I was like, oh shit, I meant to paint that for my friend. And then I just never did. Which is just how it goes sometimes, isn't it? So I figured I'd fucking have some hot chocolate. Tasty, nice. Am I even recording? Yeah, cool. Hey, I don't know if you saw. Did this? Oh, that's some secret shit. I can't be showing the secret shit. Oh my god, it's everywhere. Fuck. I need a better organisation system. Painted this, and I started to record the process, and several minutes in, my phone went and stopped recording. And I planned to record the whole process, make a little reel for Instagram, and then use a slightly longer form video and do a commentary over it to do a painting tutorial type video for the YouTube. But all of that went to bollocks because my phone stopped recording and I hadn't checked. So what I should be doing every couple of minutes is going, stand up a little bit, check that my phone's recording, and then sit down again. But I didn't, so I painted like 3/4 of it. And then came to realise I'd recorded... If I'd been painting for maybe an hour and a half, I'd recorded about 7 minutes of footage. Which I put on my Instagram stories, and I don't know, fucking whatever. So if I say, oh shit, am I even recording? That's just me checking I'm fucking... And, you know, I as you're well aware, that I have a history of recording and re-recording. But anyway, fucking shut up. So I figured I'd paint Mew in the fucking... So I did some little sketches. I Google image Mew, do a few sketches. How low do I need to go? Oh, we're fine. I did some sketches, and then I did like a Judah... Oh, tits. Outline a card, and then I drew the Mew in there, and then I traced it. So now, this is the process of how I did those, the other Pokemon cards, which some of it may seem obvious, some of it you might go, you did it like that? Really? And see, if you can see here, I want to keep the name in there, so I've got the tail going a bit behind his head, so the tail sort of goes like this, a little bit behind his head here. So it covers up most of the card, but you can see the name, so you know it's Mew on the Mew card for the Mew, Mew, and the Mew. Mew, 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 ho, Mew, you, Mew 2. Hey, that's... Fucking shut up. And then we use the world's dullest, most least sharp scalpel. I bought a blade maybe 5 years ago and haven't changed it since. So I actually have to really like push to get through even tracing paper. Which a good scalpel, when I had bought a new blade, because this is an old handle, and I bought a newer blade for it, and the second it's a new blade, it's the same thing when I buy new paints. So I get old paints, and I'm like, squeezing paint out onto the palette, just get the smallest amount of paint out, and then I buy a new tube, brand new full tube of paint. I unscrew it, and I put in that same amount of effort, and I go, and all this paint goes all over the palette because I'm so used to not having paint. And it's the same when you get a new scalpel blade, is you spend so long going making sex noise just trying to cut some shit. And then you get a new blade and you put in all that effort and it goes fwing. You slice your goddamn fingers off. Which is why I don't like new things. I like old things that I have to put in more effort for. So we're cutting out this. I mean, you'll see why. You might even know why. I might have explained the process before. I apologise if this is all old news to you, but you may think, well, it's so you can transfer the image onto the card so you can draw it better. And that's true in a way, but it's not necessarily I'm tracing it and cutting it out to help me draw it. That's actually a problem, and it, something I should really figure out a means of fixing. But this is for something else. Something else entirely. Ooh. Who's your favourite Pokemon? Man, I was in I won't give any spoilers yet. You'll see what I got, but I was in the local comic book shop today. Shop store today, and I knew I had in my head like I'm going to be painting that Mew, and I walked past the section that was all like Pokemon books, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a Pokemon book and do like a Pokemon themed episode, and like the art book will be Pokemon themed and the painting will be Pokemon themed. I didn't in the end, for I'll spoil that much at least, but would have been kind of cool, I guess. I picked up one book I thought was quite cool, could possibly have been quite cool. Was I like how to draw a Pokemon book, and it was like basic guide on how to draw just a shitload of different Pokemon, like loads of random Pokemon, no order to them, no real. I mean, they had a few of like the hits, like Pikachu and I think Togepi and Marill, the like blue water Pikachu. But it was really like basic ass stuff, like how do you draw a Pikachu? You draw this and this, and then the next one's draw, and it's got like this shit, and then you draw this and this and this, and then you draw, and then you fill in the details, and then you do the fucking shit, like the most basic thing of like how to draw. But when you think about it, that makes sense because it's, oh shit, I got the wrong bit. I need this part, not the other part. Let's get a little bit stickiness to it, just a touch, just a tiny little bit of sticky, not too much, but just a little bit of sticky, just to hold it down. But yeah, looking through that little like how to draw a Pokemon book, I knew about 4 of the Pokemon they showed. I know the first 151 Pokemon. That's the ones I know. And then I know there's some other ones like Togepi and Marill and some others. But for the most part, those are the ones I know. And this book was just full of like the new... Because there's... How many Pokemon are there currently? Jesus fucking Christ. Honestly, I was expecting 300 to 400. There are 1,015 Pokemon. I had no idea. That's how far removed. See, I was a child when the first Pokemon game arrived on Game Boy in England. I remember that moment. All of this shit, there's over 1,000 Pokemon currently. I had no idea. Zero idea had I that there were so many fucking Pokemon. Jesus Christ. Forget hot chocolate, I need some whiskey after that fucking bombshell. Oh, oddly enough, shall I add a bit to my hot chocolate? No, I'm not going to do that. Don't be silly. Come on now. I honestly didn't know that were that many Pokemon. So, I mean, if I say, what's your favourite Pokemon? I know literally like a tenth of the Pokemon. I know roughly 10% of the Pokemon that exist. So if you told me my favourite Pokemon is this, I wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about. Unless it's one of the original, like, 151 Pokemons. I know Love Disc is a Pokemon, and I only know that because I saw this video of someone made of, like, is this a Pokemon or is this made up? And they were showing a bunch of Pokemon and a bunch of made up shit, and the other person had to guess, which would work for me because I wouldn't have a fucking clue. And they showed Love Disc. And for most of them, actually, I could look at them and go, that's probably a real Pokemon. But for Love Disc, I assumed that was made up because it looked so fucking stupid. But no, evidently Love Disc... I was about to say Love Fist. Wasn't that from GTA Vice City Stories? Love Fist. I was thinking Death Fist, Love Fist. The opposite of the... Not really the opposite, but, you know, fucking... Whatever. You give a shit. Shut up. Let me finish my hot chocolate. So you got that. And then... take a can of spray paint. I need to get a cap. Where's some of my fucking caps? Go with that one. Do. A little test spray on a bit of scrap envelope. Right. Now, am I going to spray paint the whole thing? Wouldn't that fucking ruin it? Maybe. No, just like a bit. Basically that should be enough. That should be fine. That should be exactly what I need. Because that gives me just a better surface to paint on. It outlines where the paint needs to go, and it gives a better surface, because if I put acrylic directly onto the card, because the card's a bit glossy, the paint doesn't always take to it very well. And putting the spray paint down doesn't mean the paint's going to take to it perfectly, but it grips to the card a little bit better with that sort of sprayed fucking layer on it. So this is how I have done those previous. Let's get rid of the little bits of glue. This is how I've done those previous cards, and this is how I'm doing this one. Same principles, processes, and shit. Whole bunch of shit and nonsense. That's pretty much dry already, which is good because I may need to. Now, this is where I could fuck it up. Oh, excuse me. What time are we at? Oh, plenty of time. We're fine. I need to try and draw in the elements of the Mew that I need to be painting, and this is where I could fuck it all up. Potentially. I have no reason to believe I will, but the potential is there for it to be fucked upped. And then this foot. Were you like me? Were you a stupid child that sort of, I don't know, was brought up in such a way where you just assumed the pink Pokemon were girls and the blue Pokemon were boys? So like Chansey, Jigglypuff, Mew, you just figure, well, that's a girl Pokemon because it's fucking pink. But then you watch the show and they're like, oh no, he's this or he's that. Did they say that ever? Did I make that up? I believe they say like he this and he that. Pikachu was one of those ones where I was like, well, that could be a girl. It's quite a femme presenting Pokemon, which is something I made up. I think I've put this foot too far forward. No, what am I going to do? No, I think it's right. Yeah, I got like second-hand gender dysphoria for these Pokemon. But that's a girl Pokemon because it's fucking pink. Jigglypuff is obviously a girl, come on. Well, not necessarily. And now I'm like, of course not necessarily. What the fuck are you talking about? Fucking Pokemon. Gender isn't really a huge issue in the world of Pokemon. I don't think, anyway. I don't know, I guess. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just trying to say shit while pass the time while I fucking do some shit. Ugh, Christ. Widdly Scuds. Evidently, I missed issue 1 of this. This is issue 2. Apparently. I have seen it teased, shown a little bit on Ashley Wood's Instagram page. Lemort 13. I don't know. Lemort 13. How would you pronounce 13 in a French accent? Lemort. 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 Oh, Lemort. 13. Of course, 13 isn't the number, is it? It's, I don't know. I picked this up in the shop, and I flipped through it, and then I got halfway, and I was like, ugh, what's that? Half this comic is just something else. And then focusing on the Ashley Wood bits, not to, destroy your idea of what you might be about to look at if you've not seen it already. But it's kind of unimpressive. I will say that off the bat. That's kind of cool. Bone and sickle thing. I don't know. I think the fact that he's put out a Lemort 13 comic is kind of neat. It does, have little like, oh, he's putting this out. I'm doing Death Fist. Maybe there's stuff I can steal. Let me look through and see if I can steal shit. It's very sort of Ashley Wood, modern Ashley Wood comics. Very sort of like minimal and I don't want to say thoughtful necessarily because it's not like his other comics weren't thoughtful. But it is these moments that sort of like smaller moments rather than big grand action scenes, especially shit like this. Trauma. Eris thanks her family a parting gift. Who is captured? I will sit at the back of your mind, playing on your fears, whispering ideas, banging some shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Well, there's a birdie. Swat! Which I find that with a lot of like Ashley Wood's creator-owned weird little comics. Some of them are really like fun and interesting, and some of them are a little bit like just leave me not baffled necessarily. Like I've said time and time again, I'm a big fan of like slow-moving media, slow movies and shit that takes its time to get to where it's going. And I do appreciate when comics do that as well, because it's so easy to like rush through comics because it's just bam, 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 page, 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 page. So I really appreciate when you take moments to like actually show shit and tell shit. But I think because I love Ashley Wood's art so much, I'm going into it with maybe higher expectations than I ought to. And I'm going like, oh, it's Ashley Wood, there's going to be some cool art. And then I look through it and I'm like, If nothing else, you can look at it in terms of like the craft of making comic books. Like, those are some really fucking interesting looking comic book pages. No panel borders. No real like straight lines. I'm not going to read it because fuck that. But it looks like all the details that need to be there are there. Like the hat. It's Lemort's hat, I guess, floating through the streets. An interlude, some shit. Something else going on. A robot guy and some tarot cards. I like this, the little guy walking. That's a shape Ashley Wood's used quite a lot here and there, and I do quite like the like hunched walking figure. And this is quite a nicely drawn little room. I love the texture. That will come into play in a bit. Keep that noted, texture within panels. Yeah, I really like the layouts and the look of it as a whole, but in terms of drawing and comic book art, it's a little bit. It leaves me wanting a little bit. I'll say that much. Like, it looks cool, it looks good, and it's very original, and it's very Ashley Wood, and I appreciate that. But this won't be one I'll look at again and again. It's not like, you know, Judgment on Gotham or anything by Mike Mignola. You know, the typical shit I look at again and again and again. Fucking Mick McMahon's Slain comic. I've looked at that a zillion times. And that's one I look at again and again, and I'm like, I want to draw exactly like this. I want to make Death Fist, the comic, look like Vince McMahon's Slain comic. But that's silly, because it needs to look like my comic, not fucking his. Little guy. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. A headless monkey wipes spittle from your tube-addled mouth. It's only there performing these tasks as you have hidden its head. I promise to return it when you are restored to full health. You let go on top of the world. You're a story now of revenge times 13. Take a moment to look around, look around, look around. Fuck knows. I have no fucking clue. But there's a headless monkey, so that's quite fun. And he's wiping your tube-addled mouth, I guess. Pin-ups, Ashley Wood pin-ups are always good. I always appreciate those. I always liked this, how he uses the duotone dots for the stockings. It's almost perfect. It's just like just a tone, and it works. I like his skulls, they're always fun. I like his ink lines, his proportions, the body and the legs. It's literally like 2.5 bodies. That's a cool fucking little pin-up. That's nice. I like that. The cover. Don't know if this was a variant cover or a different idea for a different cover, whatever. But it's also quite smart for, like, if you're putting the comic together and you know you've got this space for the header, for the title and whatever else, and so you create literally a physical painting with that in mind. I like how hang on, go 1 second. I'll be right back. If I can find the goddamn thing. This one. Ugh. I like that in this. Never read it. I hear it's good. I think they made a show of it. I don't know. But on all the covers, there's this motif of the stripe down the middle. And I have this because it's Simon Bisley covers. So yeah, you've got the title and then just a stripe. I think it's white in most of them, or different colours, whatever. And so that was incorporated into the paintings, which I really, really, really like. That it's not just he painted a painting and then they added a white stripe. That might have been the case. Actually, now I'm looking at it, that might actually be what happened. I want to believe that Simon Bisley painted these with the stripe, knowing that there's going to be a stripe in there. But now the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm thinking the stripe might have been added later. Only because of the way it's cut into the painting, it doesn't look very natural. He obviously painted this bit in knowing that was going to be there, and it doesn't even match up perfectly. That one you can see that's painted literally. Yeah, so some of them are painted, some of them aren't. But I appreciate when it is painted, and like this, you sort of paint the elements of the design into the picture of the cover. That's quite neat. And then there's this, something else by someone else, which Chris Ryall, he wrote Zombies vs. Robots, which is obviously the Ashley Wood, Chris Ryall thing. So this is another one written by him, drawn by a different artist, Nelson Fever Dream Daniel. I'm sure it's cool to read. The artwork is like okay. Is good. It's good comic book artwork, and there's cosmic horror elements, tentacles and shit. I appreciate that. All fun and games. But in terms of like art to look at, it looks like comic book. Like it doesn't jump out at me like, oh fuck, this looks amazing. Let me see what's up. So yeah, a little bit like about that. So his take on Lemore. But I guess that's what they're doing with this comic. Is every issue maybe is half this and half that, which is kind of cool. I appreciate that. That's a decent thing to do. I like these as well because this is like, I have ideas for shit like this, like bold, almost graphic design type pieces, and then I do them and I think they look shit because I'm so self-conscious. I like, no, it has to be full of hatching and this and that and anatomy and guns and fucking shit going on. But like, it doesn't need to be like that. You can chill. That's really nice as well. A tit, like a nice tit. But it's a nice composition. It looks cool. I like that it's done with like markers and shit, no straight lines. It feels like a piece of art. Yeah. Let me just have a little sip of water. Hot chocolate's tasty, but it does leave a bit of a, a bit of an odd feeling in your mouth. Like cum. Speaking of cum. Oh, it's the Hulk, issue 4. See, I was going to pick up that Lemore comic, and I was like, I guess I'll get that and look through it and go, oh, this was disappointing. That might fill 5 to 10 minutes. How long did it feel? Yeah, about 10 minutes, so that's cool. And then I was walking back through the comic book section, and I saw this arm, and I was like, oh, that looks fucking cool. And then I realised, oh, it's the next issue. I showed the other 3 issues, and this is literally the next issue. So cool. And then I opened it up and I was like, oh, it looks a bit different. What's going on? Guest artist Travel Foreman. Bit of a weird name. Which is just a disappointing nothing against Travel Foreman. Google his art. Never heard the name before. He might have done loads of cool shit. He might be really, really good. But this series, especially based on the cover, you pick it up for Nick Klein's fantastic artwork. Because look at the artwork. The colour is all done by hand. It's all like ink washes and stuff, which you don't see enough of. There's a couple of pages of that in one of the previous issues. Man-Thing, the Hulk. I know very little about Man-Thing. I assume it's just like Marvel's version of Swamp Thing. But yeah, 2 big green things fighting. That arm is fucking cool. That hand is cool. The Hulk it looks really, really cool. And then you open it up and the artwork is just sort of like similar to the other half of the Lemore comic, the Dream thing, where it's just sort of just comic book artwork. But this page, okay, I'm looking at my laptop now at Travel Foreman's art, and yeah, it's some really good like comic book artwork. It's all, Spider-Man, Black Cat, Catwoman, Black Cat, Catwoman, Black Catwoman, Catwoman, Superman, Thanos. Yeah, just comic book artist. He's very, very good, but it's not like he's not the reason I got this comic. So then I'm looking through it and I come to this page and I see this panel and I fucking hate it. Like there is a clear difference in like they're obviously in somewhere, I don't know, like a service station, waiting area or something. And it's a good contrast from like the outside where there's like wind and rain and shadows and texture and stuff. There is stuff going on and there's a stark contrast. I assume that's sort of intentional, but the colours do a lot of that. Now when I was talking about texture, you gotta put some fucking texture in your comics. I can't stand looking at this in like Marvel level professionally produced comic books where it's just fucking bland. Like even if it's a hospital, I'd hate that. Like put some posters on the wall, put some shit on the floor, a line here, just a crack in the plaster, a few little bits of ink just here and there, just add some texture to it, just something. But it's just so fucking bland. And you can see it's like rulered lines. They're straight lines done with a ruler and an ink thing, and get all that, and then add the curves in, and it's, you know, it's just so like, oh, like it feels so ugly to me. I just fucking hate it so much. Like I hate it an unreasonable amount. I should not be as mad about it as I am, but I just fucking am because I fucking hate it. It's fucking boring in the background, and then it's exactly the same here. Like I guess he's getting a hat to wear either as a disguise or because he's going to be out in the rain or whatever. So he put a hat rack there to necessitate that, but it feels so out of place. Just like what, postcards or something and hat rack. Why and where? There's no context for those being there other than it's the same as I said before about Homer Simpson. You'll see him wearing a watch randomly in a random scene in a random episode and think, why is he wearing a watch? And then you realise, oh, because in that scene they scripted it, Homer looks at his watch. He never normally wears a watch unless he needs to be wearing a watch for that scene. This stand doesn't need to be here, but for the scene he grabs a hat off of a hat stand. So they put, but it just have posters, have other things for sale, have tiles on the floor, have like napkins and shit on the tables. Like maybe you're working to a deadline and you've just got to fucking get it done. But it takes a minute to add some texture. Let me. Do I have? Yeah. Death Fist. Not to blow my own penis. Oh well, there you go. There's a sign. So they're outside. I don't know how well I portrayed the fact that they are out on a street corner or something. There's a hot dog man, so you sort of assume it's on a street corner. But the floor, there's shit. There's dead bird and a cat licking his paws. Maybe the cat killed the bird. Cigarette butts and bits of paper and cans and stuff on the floor. Same here. A rat and shit on the floor, and the walls have like, at least there's hatching on the walls, so it gives it some kind of texture. Even when it's just pure black, you can see I've like scribbled the colour in, so there's little bits of like dashes of white, and which is something, it's texture of some kind. You've got the walls in the background here of the a secret underneath this bit. The name of that shop says "Get Fudged," but it looks like it says "Get Fucked" almost, but it says "Get Fudged." It's like a fudge store. On the walls, there's like stuff, posters and things. On the floor, there's paper and marks in the pavement and shit. The wall here, I've got the hatching as shading, but it's texture on the wall behind the killer. I could have swore there was something else, or maybe it was just this. It's only 8 pages after all. But yeah, it's just, I've got like red paint on it. Oh well. It doesn't take much just to add some texture, because I can't stand looking at comics, especially Marvel level professionally produced comic books that are out there in the world that have this shit where it's just bland as fuck. Like, ugh. Just add some fucking texture to your shit. And that's, irritatingly, that's pretty much all I've got to say about this issue of the comic. I did flip through it a little bit. Sorry, I'm wheezy from all the dust from earlier on. And then there's a kid, and he says, "Pick me up," and he's all like eerie and horror and shit. And then fucking man thing shows up, and then he picks up the kid, the guy, the girl, a guy. He picks someone up, and then they catch on fire. That's a thing. Can you hear that? Sorry. And then the Hulk fucking bursts out of man thing or something. I don't know what's going on, but the Hulk bursts out of him, and even the Hulk looks almost. He looks like the 70s. Like, is it Lou Ferrigno, the bodybuilder that they painted green, and he was the Hulk? He looks more like him than like a modern day. It doesn't look like this. That's what you want to see when you see the Hulk. That just looks like a strong man. And I'm only assuming that's the Hulk because it's a Hulk comic, and I guess that's the Hulk. But then this guy is generating actual man thing out of tendrils. Similar to the previous comic with the dreams and shit, there's cosmic horror. And there was like a level of cosmic horror in previous issues, which I really, really liked. And that's cool. That's not a bad drawing. I do like that. That's got texture to it as well. But yeah, just sort of underwhelmed, I think, is the term, the word of the day was ostensibly, and now the word of the day is underwhelmed by both comics. Hey, let's look at some comic art and be really underwhelmed by everything. It also suffers from the problem where, I guess similar to Doom Patrol, which I just showed, where you've got this amazing, like, skillfully, painstakingly painted cover. This really, really cool looking artwork on the cover. And you open it up and it's just... you open it up to this. Like, the difference from that to that is just... vast, to say the least. Like, I almost like that they've got, you know, these cuddly toys on a rack. Gator baby. And this Hulk cat thing that this girl's got. You know, that's kind of neat. But again, that's probably only there in service of the fact that she's got this Hulk cat thing. Hulk buddy. Because if she's just sat there with that, you might think, what is that? Why does she have that? So they have to give you a reason for that to be there, which is just, I'll throw some shit in there here. So that goes into this. Just it annoys me. And that happens in comic books so often, where you get like, I literally can't count the amount of times I've picked up a comic off the shelf because of the cover on the artwork. Nope, because of the artwork on the cover. And I've opened it up and gone, oh, it's just regular comic book artwork on the inside. Isn't that fun? Yeah, but whatever. Should we actually paint some shit? Should we actually do something instead of just sitting here complaining that nothing's good enough? All this artwork's shit. Why can't everything be good artwork for me? For me specifically. Why can't everything cater to me and be interesting for me, bloody me? Because you can shut up, Ewan, that's why. Shut your fucking mouth, whore. Starting with a purple. It's going to have like a purple shadow underneath, kind of. I'll add a little bit more to it. I'll make it a bit more of an underglow, I think, as I get toward the end. But for now, just a little bit of purple shadowing on the sort of underside parts of it. I did have a Google image tab open with Mew. There we go. Just for reference, I mean, there's not really much I really need in the way of reference. It's just, it's pink, innit? It's light, very light pink. Fucking Mew. There's not too much to keep in mind while painting it. But, nevertheless, that's the purple. That'll do for now. I had a plum around the other day. Or rather, my landlady had a plumber around too, because the previous plumber sort of did the bathroom but did a shit job of it. So now my landlady has gotten someone else in to see if he can sort of remedy any of what the previous one had done. which is all like very interesting. I'm sure. It's gonna take forever to dry, isn't it? And that was just sort of whatever. It is what it is slash was. It's not really much to tell. But then I was sat on the toilet earlier today. I was having a do a shit. And then I suddenly, out of nowhere, I was like, oh no, what if the plumber put in like a hidden camera or something? Because there was, for some of it, I was in there with him, sort of like showing him, parts of the bathroom that need to be redone or whatever. And then I said, I'll sort of leave you to it to sort of measure anything you need to measure and just look at the thing and, leave you to do your plumbering business. And he was like, yeah, cool, whatever. So I left him in there for a little bit and I heard him like knocking around a little bit with his level and measuring tape and doing whatever he does. But he had the time and opportunity, if he were so inclined, to possibly put in a fucking hidden camera or something. But I realised, as I was sat on the toilet, the only thing, and the reason I became not aware, but I guess aware of the possibility that he had the opportunity to put in a hidden camera. Because I'd be worried about one thing, and that was that he'd see me just sitting there talking to and arguing with myself. Like, I don't care if he watches me shitting and pissing, wiping myself in a caveman fashion, going, fucking scrubbing my anus and watching me shower if I ever choose to do that. I don't really care about that. That's whatever, if that's what he's into, fine. The embarrassing thing would be him seeing me fucking talk at myself and argue with myself, calling myself names and stuff, calling myself slurs in the mirror. But no, because I was sat on the toilet earlier today, as mentioned, discussing with myself. I was getting sort of annoyed, but this is, I won't go into every aspect of it, but basically how everything is becoming meme-fied. Every sort of every interest, every community is becoming meme-ified. It's just like, oh, here's a meme about this, here's a meme about that. Skateboarding, street art, not so much graffiti, but street art. And even I've seen recently the Warhammer community, it's all like, oh, the feeling when you this with your paints and your paint dries up and you get all like annoyed and it's so annoying when your paints dry up a bit, referencing specifically Warhammer paints and such. And it's just like I was so unnecessarily incensed by that and just like, does everything have to be just fucking memed? Can't you just fucking enjoy some shit? Can't it just be the hobby or the whatever it is, the activity, the act? Does it all have to be memed to death? And I caught myself because I was out loud doing all of this with myself in the bathroom, sat on the toilet. I said, it's just these fucking communities just fucking sharing and memeing things. But then with that, I caught myself and I was like, well, no, I guess that's what it is, isn't it? It's the communities that enjoy these hobbies and shit sharing memes with each other because they have the same interests. So, of course, why wouldn't they? And then I very quickly came to the realization that there's really nothing wrong with that. Like, yeah, why shouldn't they? They have these similar interests. Why shouldn't they just share memes about it? There's really no reason. It's the difference between, well, not the difference, but it's like, there is the meme, I guess, of I don't know if there's one meme in particular or a bunch of them of the unnecessarily angry guy going, stop enjoying things, This is badly written. This TV show. This is based on something old that was better then. Why are you all liking this new shit stuff? Stop enjoying things. And it's like, just let people enjoy things. What are you so mad about? And so I'm sat there on the toilet getting mad at communities for memeing things and enjoying their fucking chosen hobby in the way they choose to enjoy it. And that's when I caught myself and I was like, oh God, what if the plumber put in a hidden camera and he's just watching me have these fucking inane, worthless arguments with myself? I'd feel so silly and so embarrassed. I just feel like an absolute twat of a boob. And that's basically it. That's that. That was pretty much the extent of that self interaction. And I was looking around my bathroom a little bit. I was like, there's like maybe 2 or 3 places you could even put a camera in the tiny little. If you can even call it a bathroom, it's barely that. And I realised that no, he wouldn't have put a camera in. I mean, if he did, I guess sue him and get a shitload of money. But and in that respect, it's almost worth hoping he did put in a camera. And I'll put in a camera myself and say he put the camera there. Why would I put a camera in my own bathroom? But then they would really have no proof that he had put it there, and they probably would find some kind of proof that, in fact, I had put it there myself. And then I'd get in trouble for filing frivolous, wrongful lawsuits against honest, hard-working plumbers. I'd probably get fucking evicted or something. I don't know. Nothing good could come of that, so best to just not worry about it, I guess. And I did have the thought of like, well, it's not like I'm some hot college student or something, female or otherwise, that's typically when you hear about horrendous, awful people putting hidden cameras in bathrooms. It's usually in the bathroom of an Airbnb where there may be young foreign exchange students or whatever staying there, or college dorms with hot young women staying in them. And I spoke to the plumber for a few minutes here and there, and it's like, why would he want to put a camera in my bathroom of all the sort of places he probably plumbs? But then I caught myself and I was like, well, no, that's very judgmental. Like, he might just be into, sort of slightly older guys, not older guys, but, older sort of young guys, 30-something-year-old men with, impressive facial hair. And that's what he wants to watch. He wants to watch voyeuristic video footage of, burly, manly 30-something-year-olds in their bathrooms, washing their hairy tummies, doing a shit and a piss, having a wicked morning piss. Maybe that's what he's into, and far be it from me to, judge him on that interest. Why can't people just enjoy things? Just as we were saying just before, just moments ago, just let him enjoy what he's into, and he can turn it into memes. Fucking, I don't know quite what the community of that would be. People who disgustingly install hidden cameras in people's bathrooms. Community. Maybe it's a big community, I don't know. I'm always baffled when, I won't talk too long on it, but, pedophiles and stuff have communities where they share images and stuff. I guess in one respect, you've got to get that sort of material from somewhere, so hopefully for you, if you are one of those people, there is a community of people sharing it that you can get it from. But at the same time, I feel like if I was into that sort of horrible thing, I wouldn't really want to spend too much time with other people who are into it, because surely if you're out there talking about it, anyone can sort of see and or overhear, and you get in a lot of trouble for it. But then I guess those sorts of people aren't necessarily known for being the brightest individuals. So woe betide those fucking pieces of work, I guess. Anyway, I don't really want to spend too much time talking about, pedos. That was not my intention. I'm just painting some Pokemon. I'm painting specifically a Pokemon. I'm painting a Mew. Look how cool this is coming out already. God, it looks so good. You're so good at painting, Ewan. Teach me. How do you paint? I was, for a little while, I was contemplating doing online lessons, because I've known of some people who have done like online art lessons and seem to do all right with it in terms of like making money and stuff. And that was sort of the main reason for me looking into the possibility of doing it. Was, another way of making an income through art and whatnot. But I think I've come to the conclusion that I really don't have much of an interest in doing that. I really like, the more I think about it, the more I just feel like, just not really something I feel interested in doing. Not that, it could be nice to, if people have questions that I can answer with regards to making art, then that's probably a good thing if I can help anyone. But in terms of like the practicality of it, like sitting there sort of explaining things and going over shit, and also just sort of putting myself out there as like, I'm someone who knows enough that I can teach, and I don't know, that feels a bit awkward. Just the more I think about it, the more I just think, I'll answer questions here and there if people have them, if I can, if they're asking questions about things I can answer. But I don't know if I want to really teach. That's a whole thing. I think I'm better suited to making my little videos, and if anyone can take anything from those, then that's cool. But in terms of actually like teaching, I don't know about that. Looks a bit evil, doesn't he, with his eyes? Having eyes and shit. Looking evil, having eyes. Like a bastard. Mew, you prick. You evil bastard prick Mew. Get fucked. See, because now I could be like, then you add another layer of slightly lighter pink to the top areas, and it starts to look more three-dimensional. If that's what you're going for. Maybe it's not. Did you hear I won this illustration contest? It was really good, and I finally won. I need to reply to an email, I think, that I think I've gotten, and then get like my prize money, my trophy, and all the rest of it. I don't know if I've said before, I forget what I haven't spoken about, but the trophy is really fucking heavy. I didn't realise how big and fucking heavy it was. I'd seen pictures of it, but I'd never seen one up close. And as I had shown, I took a picture of it, I took a picture with it, a little selfie I took with it. And it's really fucking heavy. And all I can really think of is, because I've got to wait for it to be engraved with my name and everything, because I won. But when I do get the trophy in my official possession, I don't know where I'm going to put it, because I don't know if I've got any shelves that can realistically take that much weight. Maybe like my kitchen counter, but then it's a bit of a weird place to have that and it will just get covered in like fucking kitchen grease and whatever. Other than that, I can maybe just put it on the floor in my room, but I don't know. I'll have to figure that out, I guess. Maybe I'll have to get hold of some sort of display case or something specifically just for that one single trophy. But then, of course, maybe that'll push me to try and enter and win other things and have more trophies so I can fill up my trophy case that I bought for this one reason. I don't know. These important thoughts, things that bear, things that, you know, it's worth thinking about, obviously. Oh, isn't he looking cute? He's a cute little Mew. Or did I say he? Did I assume his gender? Yeah, I did. I'm painting him. I'll call him whatever fucking gender I want. Well, I guess that's how people feel about kids, isn't it? I made my kid, I'll fucking talk to it how I want. I'll call it a piece of shit if I want, and if it grows up with fucking trauma, that's its problem to deal with later on. Why doesn't my kid talk to me anymore? I don't understand. See, that was a comment on, parenting. We talk about all sorts here. Oh, we do have fun. We do. I mean, that's almost it in terms of those highlights on those bits. Maybe just the tiniest bit of extra highlight on top of that. Maybe, I don't want to overdo it, but maybe just a little tiny bit more. I don't know if I want to put the shiny hot white highlights on Mew's body. Because I don't know if I want it to look like shiny and wet, but just a little extra bit of highlight here and there. Oh, shouldn't go amiss. Yeah. Ooh, bloody yeah. Bloody ooh. I don't know what's going on here. There's fucking gaps that I'm leaving for no reason whatsoever. Let's get some eyes. It's got blue eyes. Yeah. Right, well, yeah, the eyes need to be done in a couple of parts, I guess, don't they? Should, I don't know if that looks a bit silly actually. Might be right. Let me real quick just get these in here. What are we doing? This. One. Get the beans. Everyone loves the beans. Yeah, well, I think I just fucked that one up. But that did. Right, eyes. Let me get some. Where's the raw umber? There it is. My paints are all over the place. I need to clean my fucking desk. I'm thinking of doing that actually. I'm thinking of doing a video, like a time-lapse video of me cleaning and like rearranging my desk into a neat and tidy area, because this here is just fucking, and as you can see, it's encroaching on. I'm supposed to have like another good like 5 inches of space to draw and shit, but then when I do like bigger pieces, A3 pieces, I keep having to like pull them down and move them around on my desk so I can paint individual parts of them, because I just keep reducing the amount of available space on my desk. So I need to do something about it. I thought it could be fun to do like a little time-lapse video. I put the camera a little bit away from my desk, pointing at my desk and like looking at it, and watch all the mess go away and it all get tidied up. And then film myself over the next couple of days, having it all revert back to its usual messy self in no time at all, because that's just how it fucking goes. Alright, and the eyeballs, raw umber and white, so it's sort of off white, and then we can highlight it with white and make it look a bit more bold and 3D maybe. But then when you add the pure white highlights on top of that I'm not putting on the body, it will look extra bright and shiny. That's where that's the trick to it. There you go. I could be a teacher, couldn't I? Oh, everything you're learning from me just from this little fucking whatever. Oh, the eyes look really fucking stupid. I don't know. Oh, I know exactly what I've done. Yeah. See, I think it needs to be more. Like that. Yeah, I think that's it. His eyes looked really just fucking stupid. That looks a bit better. I'm not entirely happy with it, I don't think, but yeah, maybe that'd do. Right, let's get some blue in there. Some of this cobalt blue for now, just as a base, and then we can work on top of that. It's probably going to take ages to do that because it's taken quite a while for the paint to dry on the card because it's glossy. So, I guess we'll just sit and talk. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, how's things? How's the kids? I meant to say something as well of how, what a month it's been. I got to hang out with my friend Sam, and then there was that drawing very first of the month when I was painting at that painting event. That was September. Painted there. I had all the tags in my book. Met Odyssey. That was really, really cool. And then hang out with Sam. Literally like 2 or 3 days after that. Chill for a bit, and then there was the drawing contest, and then I won. What a fucking month for my birthday month as well. So that's a pretty fucking cool whole thing. I think I mentioned this already. I can't remember, so apologies if I've already talked about it. But I was talking to a guy another writer I'd just met for the first time at that painting event, and he was saying he was running late. He was running late to the event because he's had to get his kids to the thing and the whole thing. And he goes to me, "Oh well, you know what it's like." And then he pauses and goes, "Oh, do you have kids?" And on the inside, I was like, "What? Are you fucking insane to have kids? What the heck? Who do you think you're talking? Jesus, what the fuck? Why would I have kids?" But then, obviously, on the outside, I was just like, "Oh no, I don't." And then I realised, thinking about it, like, there's no reason I couldn't have multiple kids. Like, I'm in my mid-30s. And I guess at least sometimes look like I'm in my mid-30s, especially with my wonderful and amazing beard. But it's just, clearly I don't feel that way. And, I've taken steps to make sure I won't have children. So when somebody asks me something like that, it's just like, what? I don't have kids. I'm a child. I can't have fucking children. What are you talking about? But then, yeah, for anyone who doesn't know me, like, there's no reason to believe necessarily that I don't. Like, there's every reason I could have children, theoretically. I mean, I can't, but I could. I thought that was quite funny, a funny moment. And I think I maybe even did mention that when I spoke about it during whatever episode it was, so sorry if I'm just repeating myself a bunch. Fucking whatever, that's what you get. I've just got to fill fucking time, yeah? I am sort of internally over, the course of weeks and or months debating on how much I like this way of doing the outlines and things on my paintings, because I've done it on quite a lot of my recent paintings. This sort of painted outline over most of the painting and then use it for like a few bits of hatching and shadow and stuff. And I do like it here and there, but I do question if I really like it on every single painting, or if I want to sort of use it a bit more sparingly. But that's something to sort of figure out, isn't it? It's part of art, isn't it? It's a journey. It's about learning and a bunch of other shit, whatever. It's just about making shit look cool. And if something looks cool, and you do it, and if it doesn't, then you either don't do it or you learn to stop doing it quite so frequently. Or something. Fucking whatever. Shut up. Fucking shut up and paint, man. Stop having opinions. Just fucking paint. Create more content for us for free. Go on. Go on, bastards. Speaking of that, actually, I am planning on doing a big thank you to my patrons, my Patreon subscribers video. So, I've got a couple of ideas, but it won't be anything major. I've just been sending out those free Tetsuo prints, which, I mean, they're free. I give them away for subscribers, so maybe they're not technically free because you are paying already. But you're already paying for their thing. It just means, as well as whatever you're paying for, you also get a complimentary, let's call it that, instead of free. You get a complimentary print, as well as the stickers and everything else. And, at really no small cost to myself, I don't make huge sums of money. And with getting them printed and the cost of postage and everything, the cost of living crisis, it all adds up. And I don't really think about that when I set out to do these things. And then, like, as I'm at the post office paying for all the postage, I'm like, oof, that's it's a fair bit more than I was expecting. But, I'm happy to do it. It doesn't deter me from, wanting to do those things, because I want to do those things, and I want to put shit out there, and I want to make it free. I want to give people shit. I've always said that I'd rather give all my art away than sell it. So I am happy to do free shit. It's just every now and again I get a little bit like, that was a lot of money on postage. That was very quickly heading towards 3 digits in terms of amount of money I have to pay for that. But I do it because I love you all. And you are incredibly generous, all of you. So, thank you. So I trying to put together some kind of official thank you video or something, just as a way of literally saying thank you, letting you know I appreciate it. Although, I'm giving you a bunch of free shit. If that doesn't tell you I appreciate you, then I don't know what the fuck will. Jesus. You was just fucking asking for more, aren't you? Just fucking want more and more from me. When will it be enough? I don't know if that line was necessary. I don't know if it looks good. It's alright. Alright, let's get these eyes done. Where are we at time-wise? Oh, getting up there. I just looked at my phone to look at the time of how much time I've been recording for. Also, I didn't realise quite how small this card would look on the screen. It looks tiny. It looks little petite little Mew. Cute little tiny little Mew. So if you can't see any of the details, tough shit, I guess. Zoom in, maybe? I don't know. You deal with it. Also, I have sort of realised if I zoom in even slightly with my phone camera to record it, or even in the editing, it can reduce the quality significantly. And really, when you're producing like visual art, a reduction in quality can hinder the thing a lot. So I'm aiming to do less of that. Ooh. There's not really much else to do that I'm going to finish these eyes up and that'll be basically it, but fucking whatevs.